In
Your card was
Florence,
declined.
Asha Monroe watched her husband's mistress
Oh, let
smile
me get
like
that
she
for you.
owned the room. And in that moment, Asha realized this was not
Your
an
card was
affair.
declined.
It was a plan.
Oh, let me get that for
Before
you.
we get into it, tell me where you're watching from. Drop your city or country in the comments. And if you're here for dignity, fairness, and real accountability, hit like and subscribe. Asha had learned to live in sequence, not story. Facts beat manipulation, receipts beat charm. And when people tried to turn you into a rumor, you stayed anchored in what could be proven. She was 36, a black woman with a quiet confidence that unsettled the wrong sort of people. The kind who needed you loud so they could label you aggressive, or needy so they could call you unstable. Asha never gave them that. She kept her voice low, her spine straight, her mind sharp. She met Dominic Vale at a corporate awards dinner in London. Dominic was polished in a way that made people lean in. He spoke smoothly, held eye contact a fraction too long, and made generosity look like a character trait instead of a strategy. He was the face of Vale Meridian, a hospitality and property group with luxury hotels across Europe. Dominic had a reputation for values, ethics panels, charity dinners, inspirational speeches about leadership, the sort of man who could say the word integrity and make people clap. When Dominic pursued her, it felt deliberate. He introduced her to rooms she had never asked to enter. He remembered details. He complimented her mind more than her face. He made her feel chosen and safe. But over time, Asha noticed the terms. Dominic liked her calmness when it made his life easier. He liked her intelligence when it served his image. He liked her independence as long as it stayed optional. It started small. He suggested they consolidate their finances for simplicity. He offered to manage travel because he had a team. He insisted on holding the passport wallet because he was more organized. He framed control as care. Asha did not miss it. She simply did what she always did. She watched. She kept her own accounts. She kept copies. She stayed capable. So when Dominic proposed a trip to Florence, she said yes, but she did not surrender her instincts. He called it a reset, a romantic week, fresh air, art, wine, a soft return to each other. Dominic booked them into the Palazzo Lucente, a famous five-star hotel that sat like a jewel near the river. It was also part of his group, which he presented as a convenience. Best suite, best service, best staff. He said it like a promise. Florence welcomed Asha with warm stone and golden light. The street smelled of coffee and leather. The hotel smelled like lilies and money. Marble floors, high ceilings, staff who moved like choreography. On the first day, Dominic played the role perfectly. Hand on her back in the lobby, a smile for the concierge, a kiss on her temple in front of strangers. He wanted the world to see them as a picture. Asha let herself breathe for a moment. She wanted to believe the marriage still had space for softness. Then, the second day arrived and the air changed. They were in a boutique near Piazza della Signoria. Asha tried on a simple silk dress, elegant, understated, the kind of thing that made her feel like herself again. She stepped out of the changing room and Dominic looked up from his phone and smiled. Perfect, he said, as if he was confirming a decision. Asha went to pay with her card. It was her card, her name, her account. The machine approved it, then made a second sound, sharp and final, reversed. The assistant blinked and tried again. Approved, then reversed. Asha frowned, checking her phone. No signal inside the boutique. She walked closer to the door. One bar appeared, then vanished. Her banking app spun and refused to load. The assistant's smile tightened. People in line began to glance over. Asha felt the heat rise in her cheeks, not from shame, but from the attempted humiliation. A small theater built around one word, reversed. Dominic did not look surprised. He did not ask if she was okay. He simply leaned forward, voice smooth, and said, "Don't make a scene. I'll handle it." He paid with his card, and the assistant's smile returned instantly, as if the entire moment had been about status, not money. The dress was wrapped again with extra care, like Asha had been upgraded back into personhood. Outside, Dominic smiled as if nothing had happened. "Probably a foreign transaction issue," he said. "I'll have my team check it." Don't worry. Asha nodded, but something inside her clicked into focus. Not calm, focused. That evening, Dominic insisted on dinner at the hotel's private restaurant. Candlelit, crisp linen, quiet music, staff gliding between tables like they had been trained to vanish. Halfway through the meal, Asha's phone vibrated. Signal had returned. She looked down and saw the notifications. Payment reversed. Payment reversed. Payment reversed. Not declined. Reversed. Approved, then pulled back like a hand yanking a leash. Asha opened her banking app. This time it loaded. Her balance was nearly empty, not gradually reduced, not normal spending, drained. Her throat went dry. Another alert appeared. New device logged into your account. Asha looked up slowly. Dominic was watching her, glass of wine in hand, face composed. What is it? He asked, as if he had no idea. Asha kept her voice steady. Someone logged into my account from a new device. Dominic's expression shifted by a fraction, then reset into reassurance. That's probably the bank's security system, he said. It can look strange abroad. Asha held his gaze. It lists the device. It's not mine. Dominic's eyes hardened slightly. His voice stayed soft. Do not ruin dinner, Asha. There it was, the line. Not concern, not partnership, control. After dinner, Dominic suggested they walk through the lobby for fresh air, a harmless idea on the surface. But when they reached the bar area, Asha saw her, a woman seated like she belonged there, sleek dress, perfect hair, a smile that carried a private joke. She looked up at Dominic and smiled like a greeting. Then she looked at Asha, and she smiled again, slower, sharper, satisfied. Dominic's hand tightened around Asha's elbow. Don't, he murmured. Asha did not blink. Who is she? Dominic exhaled like she was inconvenient. Not here. The woman stood and approached with a glide that felt rehearsed. Dominic, she said warmly, as if she had always had the right. Then she turned to Asha with bright eyes. Oh, you must be Asha. Asha's chest tightened. Strangers should not know your name like that. Asha looked at Dominic. You told her about me. Dominic's smile held. Asha, please. The woman extended her hand. I'm Bianca, she said. It's lovely to finally meet you. Finally. Asha did not take the hand. She looked at Bianca and said, You're wearing my husband's confidence like perfume. Bianca's smile sharpened. Florence is full of surprises, she said, and it's easy to get lost here. Asha felt the threat in the softness of the words. Dominic did not correct it. He simply guided Asha away as if he was escorting her back into place. That night, Asha did not sleep. She took screenshots of every reverse transaction, every login alert, every balance change. She emailed herself copies. She sent them to a secure folder she had kept for years for reasons she never discussed. Then she went to the travel wallet. Dominic's passport was there. Her sleeve was empty. Asha stood still for a moment, breathing slowly. Then she turned to Dominic, who lay in bed with the calm ease of a man who thought he owned the world. Where's my passport? She asked. Dominic did not open his eyes immediately. It's safe, he said. Where? Asha repeated. Dominic opened his eyes and sat up slowly. In the hotel safe, he said. Under my name. It's more secure. Asha's voice stayed even. I did not agree to that. Dominic's mouth tightened. You didn't have to, he said. That was the moment it stopped being confusing. Asha understood. The reversed payments were not a glitch. The drained account was not a mistake. The missing passport was not an oversight. It was leverage. The next morning, Asha went to the front desk. She wore a simple outfit, hair neat, face composed. She did not arrive as a woman begging. She arrived as a woman recording. The receptionist smiled. Good morning, Signora. Asha spoke clearly. I need my passport returned. It has been placed in the safe under my husband's name without my consent. The smile flickered. I'm sorry, Signora, but for security, we can only release items from the safe to the registered guest. Asha nodded. I am a registered guest. Please check my details. The receptionist glanced at the screen, then back at Asha with a different kind of politeness. "You are listed as an accompanying guest," she said. Accompanying, as if she was luggage. Asha felt the intended humiliation, a paper cut disguised as policy. She did not raise her voice. "Please call your manager," she said. A man arrived a few minutes later, early 40s, calm, a face trained to remain neutral. His badge read Enzo Marini, concierge manager. He listened as Asha explained. He checked the system. Something changed in his eyes, not fear, recognition, as if he had seen this kind of thing before. He spoke carefully. "Signora, I understand, but our policy is strict." Asha nodded. "Then I would like to make a formal complaint in writing. I would like a copy of my registration details, and I would like to know who changed my status to accompanying guest." Enzo hesitated, just long enough to reveal an inner decision. "Of course," he said. Asha watched his hands as he typed, not rushed, not trembling, careful, like a man choosing whether to step into risk. A few hours later, Asha's room phone rang. It was Enzo. "Signora Monroe," he said quietly. "May I speak with you privately in the lounge by the river window?" His voice was different, less scripted. Asha went. Enzo stood near a column away from the cameras. He handed her a slim folder. His eyes did not meet hers at first. "Please do not open this here," he said. Asha took it. "What is it?" Enzo swallowed. "It is the timeline," he said, "the internal sequence, and I am signing it. Sequence, not story." Back in her room, Asha locked the door and opened the folder. It was a full transaction timeline from the hotel's payment system. It showed her card authorization and the reversals initiated minutes later. It showed the staff user ID that processed them. It showed a note attached to her guest profile. "Do not assist guest. Refer to Mr. Vale only." Asha stared at the sentence, a simple line with a brutal purpose. On the last page, Enzo had written a statement and signed it. "I confirm I observed changes to guest profile and payment handling that were inconsistent with standard procedure. I am willing to testify." Asha sat down slowly. A witness inside the building. Not a savior. A witness. When Dominic returned to the suite that afternoon, he arrived with Bianca as if it was normal. Bianca walked in with her smile ready, eyes bright with entitlement. Asha was seated by the window with the folder placed neatly on the table. Dominic glanced at it. "What's that?" "Receipts," Asha said. Bianca laughed softly. Still playing detective, Dominic's voice stayed smooth. "Asha, you're upset." "I understand, but you're not thinking clearly." Asha stood. "You drained my account, reversed my payments, changed my hotel status, and held my passport in a safe under your name." Dominic's eyebrows lifted slightly. "You're making accusations." Asha's voice stayed calm. "I'm stating events in order." Dominic stepped closer. "Asha, you're abroad. Your passport is secure. Your money is protected for now. All you need to do is stop embarrassing yourself." Asha looked at Bianca. "And you're enjoying this." Bianca's smile widened. "Florence is for surrender," she said. "People come here to let go." Asha turned back to Dominic. "I'm not surrendering," she said. Dominic's expression hardened. "Careful," he murmured. "You don't want to make this ugly." Asha met his eyes. "You already did. You just expected me to keep it quiet." That night, Asha called a solicitor in London. Her name was Nadia Kaur. Nadia did not respond with gossip or sympathy first language. She responded with structure. "This is coercive control," Nadia said. "Financial control, restriction of movement, and engineered humiliation. This is not a messy breakup. This is abuse dressed as policy." Asha's voice stayed low. "I need a plan." "You need witnesses," Nadia said. "Documentation, preservation of logs. And you need to stop negotiating with a man who believes your freedom is optional." The next morning, Nadia sent a formal letter to the hotel's general manager and the group's legal department. Not emotional, not messy. Clean and firm. Immediate return of Asha's passport. Preservation of CCTV. preservation of internal logs, disclosure of guest profile changes and authorization trail, safeguarding review. The letter stated clearly that this was coercive control and misuse of corporate systems, not a personal dispute. Asha printed it and went to the lobby. Enzo met her again. He read the letter and nodded once. "I will deliver this personally," he said, "and I will sign again if needed." Within 2 hours, the general manager requested a meeting. Her name was Elena Conti. Elena invited Asha into a private lounge with glass walls and soft chairs. Dominic was already there, of course, seated like he owned the furniture. Bianca sat beside him, legs crossed, smile muted, but present. Elena spoke politely. "Signora Monroe, we take your concerns seriously." Dominic smiled. "Darling, this is unnecessary." Asha ignored him. "I want my passport returned immediately," she said, "and I want my registration status corrected to my name, not accompanying guest." Elena nodded slowly. "According to policy, we can only release items from the safe to the registered guest." Asha slid Enzo's signed timeline across the table. Then she slid Nadia's letter. Then she slid screenshots of the reversed payments and login alerts. Elena's eyes moved across the documents. Her expression shifted into professionalism, not sympathy, risk awareness. Dominic's smile tightened. "This is being blown out of proportion," he said. Asha looked at Elena. "If it is, it should be easy to resolve." Elena cleared her throat. "Mr. Vale," she said, "for safeguarding reasons, we will return the passport to Signora Monroe directly." Dominic's eyes flashed. "Excuse me?" Elena's voice stayed calm. "We also need to review the internal notes placed on her profile and the authorization trail." Bianca's smile faltered for the first time. Dominic tried a softer tone. "Asha, please, let's not do this in front of people." Asha's voice stayed steady. "You did this in front of people," she said. "I'm ending it in front of them." A staff member arrived with a small envelope. Elena handed it to Asha. Inside was her passport. Asha held it for a moment, not as a trophy, as oxygen. Then she said, "I am moving rooms. I want a separate reservation in my name, and I want confirmation in writing that my passport was held under another guest's name without my consent." Elena nodded. "Of course." Dominic stood. "This is ridiculous." Asha looked at him. "No," she said. "This is documented." Asha moved to a different floor that evening, a different corridor, a different key card, her own name on the reservation. The air in the room felt lighter, even though the situation was heavy. Then her phone buzzed. An unknown number. Asha answered. "This is Marcus Linford," the voice said, "Chief Financial Officer at Vale Meridian." Asha's eyebrows rose. "Why are you calling me?" There was a pause. Then Marcus said, "Because what happened to you is not an accident." Asha stayed quiet. Marcus continued. "Dominic used an executive override workflow, a tool designed for fraud prevention and VIP security. It can reverse charges, freeze accounts within the hotel payment system, add profile notes, and shift registration status. It is meant for emergencies. It has been misused." Asha's voice was steady. "Can you prove it?" Marcus exhaled. "I can confirm the access trail," he said. "I can confirm the workflow was misused, and I can confirm it was done from Dominic's credentials." Asha's mind sharpened. "Why help me?" Marcus's voice lowered. "Because I have seen this pattern before," he said, "and I am done being silent." That was the moment Asha realized something else. Dominic was not just controlling her. He was using a system and people and policies as weapons. Asha told Nadia about Marcus. Nadia moved immediately. She prepared a board-level submission, framed in the language board's fear, governance risk, safeguarding failure, misuse of corporate systems, pattern indicators, reputational exposure. Asha did not need to be believed as a person. She only needed them to understand the cost of ignoring evidence. This is where I want you to comment. Have you ever watched someone hide cruelty behind rules? Have you ever seen policy used as a weapon? Drop a word in the comments: policy, control, witness, receipts. Within 48 hours, the board scheduled an emergency session, remote attendance, confidential but formal. Nadia attended with Asha, Marcus attended. Enzo's signed statement was included. Elena's written confirmation was included. The internal logs were requested. Dominic joined the call with calm confidence, wearing the expression of a man who had talked his way out of consequences before. He began with a soft voice. "Asha, I'm sorry you felt," Nadia cut in. "We are not discussing feelings," she said. "We are discussing actions, timestamps, and misuse of corporate systems." Asha watched Dominic's eyes flicker. A board member spoke. "Mr. Vale, why was Senora Monroe's passport held under your name?" Dominic replied smoothly. "Security. I was being responsible." Another board member. "Why was her status changed to accompanying guest?" Dominic shrugged slightly. "Likely an admin error." Nadia's voice stayed sharp. "An error with your executive credentials attached to the change," she said, "and an internal note instructing staff to refuse her assistance." Dominic tried to laugh, but it did not land. Marcus spoke then. "I can confirm the workflow was misused," he said. "This was not fraud protection. This was control." Silence filled the call, the kind of silence where power shifts hands. Then the chair spoke. Her name was Harriet Wexler, voice measured and cold. "Mr. Vale, pending investigation, you are suspended from all duties with immediate effect." Dominic's face changed. Not rage, not tears. Panic, held tight behind a controlled jaw. Asha did not smile. She did not celebrate. She simply breathed and felt her body accept the truth. He could not charm a timeline. After the suspension, Bianca vanished. She checked out of the hotel without farewell, without forwarding address. She left like someone who had only ever been brave inside Dominic's shadow. Dominic called Asha that night. His voice was different, softer, urgent. "Asha, please, let's handle this privately." Asha let the silence stretch long enough to make the point. Dominic continued. "You don't understand what this will do. To the company, to my reputation, to us." Asha's voice stayed calm. "There is no us," she said. Dominic's breath caught. "Tell them you overreacted," he said. "Say it was a misunderstanding. We can reset. I'll give you anything," Asha replied quietly. "You already took what you thought you could," she said. "Now you're begging for silence because it's the only thing you cannot steal." Dominic went quiet. Then he tried the last familiar line. "You'll regret this." Asha's tone did not change. "No," she said. "You will." Over the following weeks, the investigation widened. Because once a board sees the pattern, it cannot unsee it. They pulled internal logs. They reviewed policy usage. They interviewed staff. And the staff did not rescue Asha. They witnessed her. A housekeeper confirmed she had seen Dominic instruct staff to ignore Asha's requests. A night manager confirmed the profile note was unusual and had been questioned internally. Elena confirmed Dominic had pressured her to keep it simple until Nadia's letter arrived. Enzo confirmed everything again, signature steady. Asha did not need a hero. She needed a chain of witnesses. Nadia filed for protective orders and divorce proceedings with evidence attached. Clean, structured, not a spectacle. Marcus resigned soon after and provided further testimony, not with drama, but with documentation. He confirmed the internal tool's capabilities and the access control weaknesses that Dominic exploited. Then, the hotel group did something Dominic never expected. They changed policy. Not with a grand press release. With a quiet official update circulated to all properties. Passports and personal documents could never be placed under another guest's safe access without written consent from the document holder. Guest status could not be changed without dual confirmation, including direct verification with the guest. Profile notes instructing refusal of assistance were prohibited unless linked to verified safety alerts and approved by management. A protected reporting channel was created for staff to flag coercion or suspected abuse, even when the guest was powerful. All of it happened because Asha refused to be turned into a story. She kept it sequence, she kept it provable. Months later, Asha returned to Florence, not to relive the humiliation, but to reclaim the place where she had been targeted. She walked past the boutique where her payment had been reversed. She stood in the hotel lobby where Bianca had smiled. She looked at the same marble floors and felt nothing sharp this time, just clarity. She met Enzo for coffee near the river. He looked relieved to see her standing tall, eyes steady. "I was afraid," he admitted quietly. Asha nodded. "I know." Enzo frowned. "But you did not look afraid." Asha gave a small smile. "I was not calm," she said. "I was focused." Enzo hesitated, then slid a small folded paper across the table. Asha opened it and saw a reference number, an internal case identifier, not hers, another. Asha looked up. "What is this?" Enzo's voice dropped. "After your complaint, a file appeared," he said. "Someone tried to delete it. Deletion leaves a trace." Asha folded the paper slowly and placed it in her wallet. Not as fear, as a reminder, because sometimes the story ends but the work continues. And here is the lesson. People who rely on your silence will always call you dramatic when you speak. People who weaponize policy will always call you difficult when you demand basic dignity. But sequence beats manipulation every time. Facts beat charm. Witness beats power. Documentation beats denial. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs the reminder. And if you want more stories about dignity, fairness, and real accountability, subscribe. This story is fictional and created for storytelling purposes. The themes are real for many people. If you or someone you know is experiencing coercive control or financial abuse, please reach out to trusted support services in your area.